Luka, I was just like, big mistake, man. And
Yeah.
I love Trae Young, but Luka, man, Luka is. I've been talking about this with my friends. Like we might have for the first time in basketball history, the top 2 basketball players might not be American in a couple of years. You know, like when LeBron finally retires and Kawhi starts slowing down, and you don't know how KD is going to be when he comes back. Who do we have American-wise to take that mantle over guys like Giannis and Luka?
Yeah, that's a fact, bro. And they're both young. Like Luka's 21, just literally turned 21.
20. Isn't he 20?
He just turned 21, like this past
Did he
summer.
just turn 21? Okay.
Just turned 21. You got Giannis, who's 25. So you got a couple of young bucks. Luka, I'm not gonna lie. When he first came into the league and he had all this buzz about him, I wasn't so like I watched him play and I was watching the YouTube highlights of what he was doing in Europe, and it was impressive, don't get me wrong. But I just seen like a big, slow ass white dude who was skilled. Like, he had a lot of skill. He had that European style skill. And I'm like, nah, I didn't see this before, man. I'm not buying into it. He ain't gonna be able to do this against brothers in the league. But sure enough, he is busting ass. Like, nobody can stay in front of him. This dude, like, and you watch him play, he's not fast. Like, he's not the most athletic dude.
No,
but he just gets by people. He got some boogie to his game. He finishes with both hands. Like the weakness on his passing, oh my God, he got crazy vision, especially for such a young player. I'm like, yo, what am I watching right now?
And the IQ is the most important part, man.
Yes.
Like you've seen guys have all of that repertoire, but he just knows when to score, when to not, when to defer. Like it was a big thing with LeBron early in his career. I mean, LeBron was obviously the best, but you would see him passing and maybe times when he shouldn't. And Doncic just like, you'll see times where he completely becomes selfish, but it's because he should. And it just seems like he already has this feel for the game that it took Jordan in the opposite direction. It took Jordan 6-7 years. Same thing for LeBron. They both they kind of had meet in the middle. They were on opposite ends of the spectrums, but they had to work their way towards the middle. And Doncic already has like that intelligence to know, okay, I know I'm the best passer in the league and I can get 10 assists, but 3 minutes left in the game, I'm dropping. Like I'm doubled and I'm still going for that game winner. And I'm hitting it. So it's just having that killer instinct and that IQ and that feel for the game is just at 21 years old, man. It's crazy. I just hope that he can stay healthy. I think he can because he doesn't really rely on explosiveness too much. But I mean, Dame's probably my favorite player right now, but Doncic is coming for it, man.
Luka,
beautiful to watch.
I seen the man. First of all, let's not forget in that series, the man was on one ankle for basically the whole series.
What was it? A game 2?
Yeah, game 2.
Yeah.
He rolled his ankle game 1, and then he hurt his ankle like legit hurt his ankle game 2. And then he comes out game 3. He has that crazy game. Is that game 4 when he hit the game?
No, that was game 4. Game 3 was the game he only dropped 13 in.
Okay. Game 4, he comes out.
Game, yeah.
The man, has 40 points and hit that step back 3 for the game. And I'm like, yo, man, this is it.
Triple double game winner, 43 points.
Yes. I'm like, get it in, man. And you're talking about the Clippers, who have 2 of the best wing defenders in the league, Paul George and Kawhi Leonard. And I was kind of disappointed that Kawhi Leonard didn't guard him more. I wanted to see that matchup a little bit more. But whoever they was putting in front of him, man, Luka wasn't backing down. And for him to perform like that in his first playoff series, and they lost 4-2, but I don't take nothing away from him on that one. Like for him to do that and perform that well, he's 21 years old. He's only going to get better. Then the future is bright. Like I'm looking forward to watching that team, and hopefully that Dallas can definitely surround him with some more pieces to make that a contending team for years to come.
Yeah. I mean, to get that team, I mean, I understand they have Kristaps. Curry had a couple good games. But what you're talking, I mean, Seth Curry might be the 4th best player on that team. I mean, after Kristaps and Luka, I mean, who's the third guy? And for him to actually have the Clippers scared for a little bit.
Yes.
And Porzingis had a couple games where he wasn't really performing. He got kicked out at the end of the first game, right?
Yeah, first game, yep. And they might have won that game if he didn't get kicked out.
Yeah, man. If that doesn't happen, maybe they win that series. Dude.
Right.
I like growing up, I was always a Knicks fan, but I was always had like this. I had this obsession with watching the Spurs just because it was watching Duncan. That system was beautiful. I have a feeling that that's going to be like my team that I'm a fan of. But I'm not a fan of over the next 10 years.
Yeah, the team you flirt with, like you pay
Yeah,
attention
the
to
team
them.
when
Yeah.
the Knicks let me down and don't make the playoffs, I start rooting for them.
Yep. I know that. I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, Luka Doncic, shout out to him. I think the next round, the Clips versus Utah or versus Denver. I think the Clippers are going to handle them pretty easily.
Yeah.
I mean, if Paul George is pandemic P in this series, then I think that'll give him a shot. But if he plays like he did in that game 5, then I think they can handle Denver pretty easily. I think I wouldn't be surprised if that goes like 5 and they beat them 4-1, or if they even sweep them or some shit like that.
Yeah, I think I would probably compare that series to the Lakers and Trailblazers one.
Yeah.
I kind of told everyone who was getting excited for that series, thinking that Portland might pull the upset. 1, you don't bet against LeBron. 2, I mean Lillard. I knew Lillard was just going to hit his wall, man. I mean, you could only drop 40, 50 a game every game for so long before you just hit that wall, and he did. I mean, he still had a couple of good games, but I kind of had the feeling that that's what's going to happen in this one. Is Murray's going to calm down, might have a couple 20-point games, might even break 30, but it took him dropping 50 twice to beat the Jazz,
Right.
And with the amount of defenders they can throw at him, I think Jokic has the opportunity to be a bigger factor in this one.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to deal with Gobert, but they got Zubac. Who are they going to put on him?
Right.
But it's going to take some trickery from Mike Malone for them to get past 5 games. Honestly, it's going to take their very best, and even then, I don't see them going past 6.
Yeah, they're going to.
I think the Clippers have their feet underneath them now and know what they're doing.
I agree 100%. I think that for Denver to have a shot, I think you hit the nail on the head. I think Jokic has to come up big. He has to be like real big, like averaging 30 plus, 12 rebounds, 7 assists type shit. And then they have to have a third player step up like consistently. They got to have Torrey Craig and go out of there and nail, go fucking 3 for 6 from 3. They got to have Gary Harris not go 1 for 9. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And they got to just go berserk from 3. I think they got to just be able to hit shots. And because like you said, Jamal Murray, they put Kawhi on him and he's done. He's out of the game. Like there's nothing he's doing at that point. So Jokic, he's gonna have to go crazy.
If Beverly comes back too, they're gonna be rotating.
Yeah, Pat Bev, exactly.
Yeah, it's gonna be rough on him. I mean Jokic, and if the Clips get the 3-game going and the Nugs are relying on Jokic, it's gonna be too much firepower. I could easily see Jokic dropping 40 and 10 and still losing games over there.
Yeah, I can too.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know if I see this series being as entertaining as the last one.
I hope it is. Like I'm, for just basketball reasons, I really hope it is. And real quick, just to touch on the Lakers Blazers, because people was kind of going a little bit crazy with the Chuck. Like you got Charles Barkley on there talking about, oh yeah, the Blazers, they win game 1, they're going to sweep the Lakers, and the Blazers are going to win this series. They ain't got nobody to check Dame. And I was just kind of thinking to myself, I was like, listen, I get the whole Dame hype. Like I'm a big Dame fan myself. I like CJ McCollum. Nurkic, he played way better than I thought he would coming off that broken leg. He's a huge upgrade over Whiteside. Yeah. But that was an easy pick for me. I'm like, ain't no way in hell that the Blazers are going to beat. They had no answer for LeBron James, like literally nobody that can guard LeBron, and they have literally nobody that can guard Anthony Davis just right there alone. So I don't understand where people was trying to make this proclamation that the Trailblazers were going to upset the Lakers. Like, where the fuck is this coming from? What are y'all talking about?
No, man, I thought it was going to be a little bit better of a series. I thought the Trailblazers, because the Trailblazers aren't an 8 seed, honestly. Like if we're really looking at the talent of that team when they're healthy, they're not an 8 seed. It's not a normal 8 seed. But LeBron's getting to that point. I don't know if you remember, but with the Spurs, every year for like the last 5 years, they ended up winning 2 championships through the time. But every year they were like, Spurs might have had the number 1 or 2 seed, but they're going to lose in the first round, blah, blah, blah. Every year they thought that they were just too old. And I feel like LeBron's going to start getting that disrespect because people are just going to keep expecting him to hit that wall until he does. Eventually, they're going to be right, and they're going to act like they're geniuses because they said it that year. But it's like,
Right.
what about the first 4 years before that? So, no, I mean, I knew they had no chance in a 7-game series. I figured they might have put up a little bit more of a fight. They did push 6 games, which is respectable, but in a couple of those games, they looked like they didn't even belong on the floor with them.
Right.
But like you said, they have no perimeter defenders. Nurkic is
you was at the point where you was relying on Carmelo Anthony to guard LeBron.
Yeah.
And all due respect to Carmelo, man, Hall of Fame player, future Hall of Famer player, but
not because of his defense.
Exactly. There's a reason why, you didn't get signed for half the season. And then, you come in, now do you expect to guard playoff LeBron? Like, that's not going to go well for any team. Like, come on.
No. It's the only thing I thought could have happened was the Lakers were going to have trouble with their depth, but they just need those guys to hit shots. Anthony Davis seems like in that last game, Game 6, was just on another level. Mm-hmm. And people forget because he was in New Orleans and he couldn't win a series, but people forget about playoff Anthony Davis. He brings it to a new level consistently every time. He just has never had a team. That year the Warriors won the championship, he beat them in one game, almost beat them in another game, and he was dropping like 45 and 15 consistently, 40 and 10. I think he might have dropped like 48 that series. I can't remember off the top of my head. But Anthony Davis performs in the playoffs. And he's been coasting all season, and he was still a top 10 MVP candidate.
Right.
You watch them in their games, and both them, LeBron and Davis, just coasting, and they're a number 1 seed.
Yeah.
I picked them to win at the beginning of the year. I haven't seen anyone who has made me think otherwise. So I'm rolling with them. I knew they were going to beat the Blazers. I knew they were going to get punched in the mouth early on. They did, and they got back in their groove, and I don't really see anyone beating them.
If you're the
LeBron's
Lakers,
the only player in the NBA. LeBron and Kawhi are the 2 only players in the NBA that I know are going to step up. Yeah. There's the other stars who are going to have those great games, but every single game, Kawhi and LeBron are going to be there.
Yeah, they're the most trusted. They're the most trusted players in the NBA right now. Like, you just know that when it's the big moment, they got the ball in their hands. They're going to 9 times out of 10, they're going to make the right decision, make the right play.
Yeah, and they're going to keep it on throughout all 4 quarters.
That's a fact. If you're the Lakers, who do you prefer to play? This OKC team, this young OKC team with Chris Paul leading the way, 3-guard lineup, or do you want to go against this unorthodox Houston Rockets team with no center that just shoots 100 threes a game and can literally bury you if 35% of those threes go in?
I think Houston's more dangerous, but I think OKC would be the tougher matchup. So I honestly would rather see Houston if I'm the Lakers. But there's always that chance that both Russell and Harden get hot. And it's just a weird series that we see once a year, maybe once every other year, where the team who shouldn't win wins. So, I mean, just the matchup wise, other than Covington, they don't really have anyone to guard LeBron. They have no one to guard AD. They're probably going to have Covington on AD, honestly. I would definitely. I think OKC is the deeper team. I think CP3. It doesn't matter what his stats are; he keeps his team in games.
Yeah,
I think he's the most disrespected superstar of the past decade, and I would rather see Houston, man. We've seen James Harden fall apart. We've seen Russell Westbrook make those, like last night, or was it 2 nights ago? Make those dumb decisions.
That was terrible.
Throwing the ball out of bounds.
That was terrible.
Taking shots out of James Harden's hands. It just seems like it's still old Westbrook, the same Westbrook that was gunning at the end of that Golden State series with OKC. So I think that team you can force into more mistakes, and you can exploit on the other end of the floor more. And if I was LA, I would run with LeBron at power forward and get more guards in the game.
Yeah.
Bradley can't come back, which is bad, but yeah, I think I would rather see Houston. But it's tough. They're close.
I feel like Like Houston is the team right now that I'm low key rooting for.